What is up, guys? It's Stanley27 here, bringing you some Battlefield 3 and Episode 3 of Never Used This Before, where we are looking at the M5K today. So if you're not sure what this series is, it is a series where we go back down through my battle log list and use some of the guns that I've never ever used before since Battlefield 3 has came out. So obviously this is one of the guns that came with Premium and the Close Quarters expansion pack. Reason why I hadn't actually used it before is because I hadn't actually unlocked it, so I wanted to give it a go. I set about unlocking it, and it wasn't too difficult in all honesty. So to unlock it, you first of all need to complete the assignment These Hurt Too, which is to unlock the Spaz 12, which is 20 pistol kills and 20 shotgun kills, which is not difficult at all. Probably a few rounds playing with a shotgun, so that won't be too bad at all. And then you have to complete the assignment to unlock the M5K, hold the trigger, which is to finish in the top 5 in Gunmaster once and get 100 kills with submachine guns. And again, that is perfectly doable. I would recommend going on Noshar Canal's Team Deathmatch, as the gameplay in the background will be, and just going crazy with the MP7. Maximum it should take you about 5 rounds. It took me about 2 or 3, I think, so that's not too hard. And finishing in the top 5, maybe a bit of a challenge for some people, but for me personally it wasn't too big a deal. It took me a couple of tries. Obviously I'm not that good at the game, but it's not too difficult. At least it's not win a round of Gunmaster, because that'd be considerably harder. So the M5K, also known as the MP5 or the MP5K, is a pretty formidable weapon in the FPS genre. It's in almost every single FPS game out there, so you should be aware of it. You should know how it looks, what it feels like, how it should feel. It's not going to be the most powerful gun, because as it is a submachine gun, but it's generally quite a good gun in all the games it has been in. So looking at the stats for it, it is a PDW, a personal defense weapon, which means it can be used across all of the classes, all 4 of them, so the Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon, in case you were watching a Battlefield video and didn't actually know what the classes were. So there we are, top tip of the day. And looking at the stats, as I said, there's nothing that actually draws you to the gun. There's a lot of other guns in the same class and of the same style, like the MP7, which actually do better than it. The damage model, it does 20 points of damage up to 8 meters, which then drops off to 12.5 at 40 meters, which is pretty average. Comparing that to the MP7, which does 20 points of damage up to 12 meters, which then drops off to 11.2 at 46 meters. Yes, it does have a higher minimum damage, but because it's a submachine gun, you're going to be keeping those engagement to very close quarters. So the fact that it does more damage at long range doesn't really make a difference, because you won't be entering those engagements across the map. Just up close, the MP7 has more damage, as it doesn't drop off till, by the looks of it, 12 meters. So it's outbeaten by the MP7 there. It's also outbeaten by the MP7 on the RPM. The MK5 fires 900 rounds per minute, where the MP7 fires 950. The recoil is fairly similar, however it can be countered for the MP7 as opposed to the MK5. The MK5 has an upward recoil of 0.5 and a 0.3 recoil to the left and the right. Comparing that to the MP7 again, the MP7 has an upward recoil of 0.12 and a side-to-side recoil of 0.45, so the upward recoil is considerably more. However, it does have a built-in foregrip, so that is with the recoil being reduced, so you can imagine what the gun would be like without the built-in foregrip. The recoil will be pretty crazy. And as I said in the last video, having the same amount of recoil on both sides doesn't actually mean the gun will fire dead straight, surprisingly. What it does mean is that the gun is just as likely to pull to the left or the right as it would if the gun had a more recoil to the right. You'd expect it to pull to the right, whereas this one just kind of 50-50 chance, so you're going to have to start firing to work out which way it's going and then counter the recoil, which makes it more challenging to actually fire and hold a target in your crosshair. So reload times, the MK5 has a 2.2 second reload when the magazine still has bullets in it, and a 3-second reload when the mag is totally empty, which is quite long, I suppose. It's not too bad. In terms of hipfire, the MK5 isn't great as most PDWs are. You'd expect it to have brilliant hipfire. The MP7 does, the P90 does, and the AS-Val does, I think. Don't quote me on that. But PDWs generally have really, really good hipfire, but it would appear not. So This is something that I'm confused as to what DICE have done with the M5K. They've almost made it worse in every single category than the gun closest to it, which is the MP7. They could have at least made some of the fields better, like considerably better, like so that you'd have to debate what scenarios you're going to be in, what engagement, so you'd have to choose between the two guns. But just looking at the statistics, choose the MP7 every single time. However, there is something about the M5K that I absolutely love. I don't know what it is. It truly confuses me. I think it is an absolutely brilliant gun in terms of just, I don't know, I just find it so fun to play with. Most of this series, or the first 2 episodes, haven't been the most fun I've ever had because, surprisingly, there is a reason why I've never used the guns that I haven't used before in this series, and that shows when I've been recording for it. It hasn't been the most enjoyable time I've ever had on Battlefield. But this morning I was playing for a few hours with some of my friends with the M5K, and I was having a brilliant time. We're all using it, we're all chipping in, see if we could, see if we can get some kills, some good gameplays, and I think I did okay. I won the lobby quite a few times with the M5K. It was a 500% ticket server, so it wasn't that hard, just go ridiculously crazy. But that's not the point. It is a great gun, in my personal preference. The stats may say differently, but I just find it a really fun gun to use. I think it's a great gun. So I would definitely recommend giving it a whirl. In terms of attachments, there is a downside. One, you do get extended mads, so with the 20 bullets or 21 with one in the chamber, that can be bumped up to 30 or 31 with one in the chamber, and that's almost a necessity. You can't run this gun without it. You can, but realistically, you need that 30 bullets, so that gets rid of the option to actually have a silencer, which is something I would look into doing. It also gets rid of the option to just use the gun in a stealthy way, obviously with the silencer, so that gets rid of one of the attachment fields. I would also recommend probably adding a laser sight to increase that hip fire that it doesn't actually have as a PDW should, and obviously a sight of your choice. The iron sights themselves aren't terrible, so if you don't feel like using a sight, you can use the iron sights. However, sights, I use the Cobra sight as my personal favourite. It's probably a better one to go for. So this has been episode 3 of Never Used That Before, and that's been the M5K. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I would definitely recommend giving this gun a whirl, and I will see you next time. Hope you enjoyed, guys.